My name is Rachel Waldrop. Here at UTC, I'm in the role of Director and Curator at the ICA, which is the Institute of Contemporary Art. My field is in contemporary art and working with artists. So it's a really fun and different process to work with artists every time. Artists are relational, right? And I say that you cannot work in the arts unless you love relationships and you love working with people, because everything I do is working with people. So I think that's kind of what keeps me on my toes, is getting to know the people behind the work, and that we get to know one another throughout the process. So by the time that their show happens, I feel like I know this person pretty well. I think the most rewarding aspect is again, just being a part of an artist's life, even if it's for a slice of time. You know, and the beauty of it that I have seen, now working in this field for 15 years, is that things come back around. So, you know, getting a very condensed moment with an artist for, let's say, a year to 2 years, and getting to know them really well. And then the beauty of that is it will come back around in some way. You know, I'll get to see where they are 10 years from now. Or we might get to work together in a bigger capacity a couple years down the road. And it just helps build this giant community, you know, community of artists. Yeah, I think some of the most memorable exhibitions have been ones that have had this life that has lived beyond the gallery, particularly. So we did have an exhibition with Jamie Eisenstein. She presented work in fall of 2022. We had students come and perform yawns on camera. And so that was a professional sort of call for them. They were paid. And then we had the photo majors setting up the set, which was really great. And then that work was shown in the gallery, right? So that was kind of the first step, is that those students could come back and see themselves in the gallery as part of the artwork. And then it traveled. You know, Jamie is an artist that shows internationally. Just a few months later, she was preparing work for her solo exhibition in Zurich, and that work was chosen to go and be part of the exhibition. So it had a really great life that continued. And I think that was a great experience to kind of illustrate how these things materialize and how they travel throughout the world. You know, and Christine Potter is another show that comes to mind. She's a photographer working in Tennessee and out of Nashville, and making work about sort of the folk history of murder ballads through black and white photography. And it was the first time she was able to put this whole series together. And she had shown them overseas and received some awards, but to show them all together for the first time in her home state was a big deal, and she was able to print some new images. And that show is traveling now with Aperture, which is a photo publishing company, and she has a catalog with Aperture around that body of work. So, you know, I think little small spaces at universities can do really great things that can have impacts. And that's what also keeps me going, is that we can be a really small space, but we can have a lot of impact, and we can have a lot of reach, especially in the art field, where connections and relationships are so important, that even little spaces like the ICA at UTC mean a lot to artists. And so I'm glad to be one spot on their journey, or one spot in their career. And now I've kind of found this great groove where I can work with artists, I can write about their work, I can give them a space to kind of play and experiment, we can try new things, and I can support their careers along the way. And I think that is my creative practice, and that gives me a lot of fulfillment, that I'm able to kind of work in parallel with artists.